We have now 30 million Muslims in Western Europe, according to most statistics. We have probably between 6 to 10 million Muslims in the United States. We have about 3 million Muslims, I think, in Canada, and maybe 2 million in Canada. But we have close to 500,000 in Toronto. They make 10% of the population in Toronto. In Philadelphia, America's first capital, we have 10% Muslims now. In New York City, the City Council of New York voted to make the Eid holiday a holiday in the city of New York, largely because 12% of Muslim children in the New York City School District are Muslim. 12%. That's the largest city in the United States of America, and 12% of its children in its public school system are Muslim. This is an immense opportunity, but it's also a crisis. And we know that in the Chinese ideogram means both crisis and opportunity. It's a crisis because if we don't somehow come to terms with the fact that Muslims do not have the intellectual tools to navigate their religion in uncharted waters, such as these that we are in now. If these tools are not presented in an intelligent way that's rooted and founded in the Islamic tradition, then we have a very serious problem. And this problem, right now, we're only seeing slight externalities. And I'll use that term externality, as you know, is a negative externality of a corporation is the toxic byproducts that come out of it. So like BP, the positive thing was drilling the well. The negative externality is the fact the well didn't work out. Well, religions have negative externalities as well. Things go wrong. People go wrong. We have Muslims that are negative externalities for the social body. Now, people leave it up to BP to deal with the problem. But sometimes the problem is bigger than BP. Sometimes you do need governments to come in. When the FBI came to me, not to question me, they never came to question me. I mean, they have at the airport and things, but they never came to my house to question me like was reported in the press. And Dr. Ramadan knows about press. I don't believe press anymore. Because once you read about yourself in the press, you know it's just rubbish. And Wikipedia, my goodness, So, the FBI, I told them, look, my wish, really, my wish is you guys get it right. Really. This is a criminal problem. These are criminals, and they need to be stopped. Extremism is as American as apple pie. We have extreme sports. We jump off buildings, with bungee ropes and things. We have extreme eating. We had a woman die recently in a water drinking contest. We have a hot dog contest where they eat 150 hot dogs. People from Egypt would never do that. We have extreme music. They used our music to torture people at Guantanamo Bay. Seriously, they used it to torture. In fact, the heavy metal bands actually protested against their music being used as torture. We have extremism is as American as apple pie, really. The problem is not extremism. Extremism is a human problem, but it's always been there. It will always be there. The problem is violence in a civil society. And this is what we need to address, the problem of violence. And at essence, Islam is an Iranic religion. It is a peaceful tradition. Our Prophet was not a warmonger. He did not like war. He disdained war. He said, never hope to meet your enemies. But if you're forced to meet them, be brave in the battlefield. He prohibited the killing of civilians. He prohibited the killing of women and children. In the Maliki fiqh that I studied, the only time that you can fight a woman if she's a combatant on the other side. The Maliki jurists were so troubled by the hadith that they said, if you see a woman on the battlefield, run away from her. Because they did not want you to fall under that hadith, because it's a mutawatir hadith, it's a factual hadith that has the same strength as a verse in the Quran.